Imagine losing 45 years of your life for a crime you didn't commit. This is the unimaginable story of Richard Phillips, a man who spent nearly half a century behind bars before finally proving his innocence. Today, we'll dive into how a wrongful conviction shattered his life, the flaws in the justice system that led to this tragedy, and the resilience of a man who never gave up hope. The crime and initial investigation. It all began in Detroit, Michigan, in 1971. A man named Gregory Harris was brutally shot and killed. Investigators quickly began piecing together evidence, and their focus soon landed on Richard Phillips, a local artist and car factory worker. Phillips had no prior criminal record, but he was suddenly thrust into the center of a murder investigation. What went wrong? It turns out the key witness in the case was a man named Richard Palumbo, who claimed that Phillips had orchestrated the murder. But Palumbo himself was no saint. He was facing his own charges and had every reason to shift the blame to someone else. This testimony, however shaky, became the cornerstone of the prosecution's case against Phillips. Despite a lack of physical evidence tying Phillips to the crime scene, the jury believed Palumbo's story, and just like that, Richard Phillips was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Life behind bars. For most people, life behind bars would break them. But for Richard Phillips, prison became a test of endurance. Over the years, he found solace in painting, creating stunning works of art that expressed his pain, hope, and determination. Phillips' art became a lifeline, a way to hold on to his humanity while the world outside continued to move forward without him. "I painted what freedom would feel like," he later said. But freedom seemed like an impossible dream. For 45 long years, Phillips remained behind bars, adamant about his innocence. Yet, year after year, his appeals were denied. He became a forgotten man in a broken system. The breakthrough. The turning point came decades later, in 2010, when the Michigan Innocence Clinic at the University of Michigan Law School took an interest in Phillips' case. The clinic specializes in exonerating those who have been wrongfully convicted, and Phillips's case had all the hallmarks of a miscarriage of justice. Their investigation revealed shocking new evidence. Richard Palumbo, the original witness, admitted he had lied during Phillips' trial. He confessed that Phillips had nothing to do with the murder and that his testimony had been entirely fabricated to reduce his own sentence. Armed with this new evidence, the Michigan Innocence Clinic filed a motion for Phillips' exoneration. After a grueling legal battle, the court finally ruled in Phillips's favor. In 2017, after 45 years of wrongful imprisonment, Richard Phillips walked out of prison a free man. The fallout freedom, however, came with its own challenges. Phillips was now 71 years old, stepping into a world that had changed drastically during his time behind bars. The internet, smartphones, social media, these were all foreign concepts to him. Moreover, Phillips had lost nearly everything: his youth, his career, and precious time with his family. He later said, "I had to start my life all over again." But Phillips didn't let bitterness consume him. Instead, he focused on rebuilding his life. He continued to paint, turning his art into a source of income and sharing his story with the world. His paintings, once an outlet for his pain, became a symbol of resilience and hope. The bigger picture. Richard Phillips's case isn't just a story about one man's ordeal. It's a stark reminder of the flaws in the justice system. His wrongful conviction was the result of unreliable witness testimony, lack of physical evidence, and systemic failures that disproportionately affect marginalized communities. His story also highlights the critical role of organizations like the Michigan Innocence Clinic in fighting for justice. Without their efforts, Phillips might have died in prison, another forgotten victim of a flawed system. Where is he now? Today, Richard Phillips is living proof of the human spirit's resilience. His art has gained national recognition, with his work selling for thousands of dollars. He has become an advocate for criminal justice reform, using his story to shine a light on the thousands of people who remain wrongfully imprisoned.